Have you ever wondered why the year begins on January 1st, in the middle of winter, when nature is still asleep? To many ancient civilizations, this would have seemed like a strange choice. For thousands of years, people viewed spring as the true beginning of the year. As flowers bloomed, animals emerged from hibernation, and farmers returned to their fields, spring symbolized a fresh start and the renewal of life. Even the modern calendar contains clues that reveal this forgotten history. The names of several months suggest that the year once began in March, not January. By exploring the origins of the calendar, we can uncover how and why societies gradually moved New Year's Day away from spring and discover the lasting traces of this ancient tradition that still exists today. For most people today, it seems natural that the year begins on January 1st. However, for much of human history, many civilizations believed that the most logical beginning of the year was in spring, when nature awakens, temperatures rise, and a new agricultural cycle begins. In ancient societies, calendars were often closely connected to the seasons, especially the return of life after winter. The arrival of spring marked a clear transition from dormancy to growth, making it a powerful symbol of renewal and a natural choice for the start of a new year. One of the most influential examples comes from ancient Rome. According to Roman tradition, the earliest Roman calendar began in March and contained only 10 months. March was named after Mars, the Roman god of war, and marked the beginning of both the military and agricultural seasons. The calendar continued through December, while the winter period was not fully assigned to months. Evidence of this ancient system still survives in the names of several modern months. September comes from the Latin word septem, meaning 7, October from octo, meaning 8, November from novum, meaning 9, and December from decem, meaning 10. These names only make sense if March was originally counted as the first month of the year. When January and February were later added to the beginning of the calendar, the numerical names of the later months were left unchanged, creating a linguistic reminder of the older spring-based calendar. Over time, the Roman calendar evolved. January, named after Janus, the god of doorways, transitions, and beginnings, gradually gained importance. In 153 BCE, Roman consuls began taking office on January 1st, and when Julius Caesar introduced the Julian calendar in 45 BCE, January 1st became the official start of the civil year. Nevertheless, the idea that the year should begin in spring remained deeply rooted in European culture. During the Middle Ages, many Christian regions did not consider January 1st to be New Year's Day. Instead, various dates were used, with one of the most common being March 25th, the Feast of the Annunciation. This religious celebration commemorated the announcement that Mary would give birth to Jesus and was seen as a fitting symbol of a new beginning. The date also fell close to the spring equinox, further strengthening its association with renewal and rebirth. For centuries, countries and regions across Europe counted March 25th as the first day of the year. England provides a particularly interesting example. From the Middle Ages until 1752, the legal year in England officially began on March 25th. As a result, dates that modern people would consider part of January, February, or early March were recorded as belonging to the previous year. For example, what we would now call February 10th, 1700, would have been written as February 10th, 1699. This system remained in place until Britain adopted the Gregorian calendar and officially moved New Year's Day to January 1st. The preference for a spring New Year was not unique to Europe. Ancient civilizations in Mesopotamia celebrated their New Year festival, known as Akitu, around the time of the spring equinox. Similar traditions appeared in many cultures around the world, reflecting the universal importance of seasonal cycles in agricultural societies. Before the modern era, the rhythm of planting and harvesting shaped everyday life far more than arbitrary calendar dates, so the beginning of spring often felt like the true beginning of a new year. Although most of the world now follows the Gregorian calendar and celebrates New Year's Day on January 1st, traces of the older tradition remain. The names of the months still reveal that March was once the first month of the Roman year, and many cultures continue to celebrate important spring festivals associated with renewal and rebirth. The history of calendars shows that the idea of the year beginning in spring is not merely a forgotten curiosity. It was once the dominant way of understanding the passage of time. In many respects, spring represented the real start of life, work, and growth, making it a far more intuitive beginning of the year than a cold day in the middle of winter. Although we now celebrate New Year's Day on January 1st, history suggests that spring may have been a more natural beginning of the year. For ancient people, the arrival of warmer weather, longer days, and new growth marked a genuine fresh start in a way that winter could not. The fact that September, October, November, and December still carry names meaning the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th months serves as a reminder of a time when March was considered the first month of the year. The evolution of the calendar shows how traditions can change over centuries while still preserving evidence of their origins. In many ways, the story of the calendar is a story of humanity itself, a journey of adapting, organizing, and understanding the passage of time.